How y'all doing? I'm Anthony of All Time Denims, former breakdancer, graffiti artist from back in the day. This was my crew. The No End Rockers. Back in the day, we used to paint our crew's name on the back of the jacket. I had a breakdancing crew. I was a popper. We had Mark Taylor, Daryl Henry, Tyrone Bailey were the other three. You know, some were breakers, some were mixture of popper, breaker. I was more of a b-boy, you know, stand-up popper type. And, you know, and then I had my jacket, my No End Rockers jacket, the original one, which is gone, because back in the day when you painted them, all the paint would crack off the back of them. So they're very rare to find, the old ones. But this was one I made just recently. Kind of just coming back, having those feelings of the hip-hop days and the way that it was. And what I wanted to show you was, I'm at the house that I grew up in the 80s. And I used to sneak out of my window if I was in trouble, or I would just walk down the street right here, right around the corner, go to the Eatontown roller rink on Sunday nights. They'd have rap battles, break battles, popping battles. It was like Black Night, so there was like barely any white people in there, you know. And then there was a couple of us white guy poppers, but it was mainly like blacks and Puerto Ricans, and there was fights at the end of every night. The only people that really never fought were the people that were dancing, because the break dancing back then was all about stopping the gangs from fighting, and instead they would battle each other with dance. And the whole point about it was you couldn't touch one another, and you try to insult them with your dance. So you try to do something when you're dancing to insult them, then they come out and they try to insult you, and pretty much the crowd tells you who won or lost. Now that happened down the street here. The building's been knocked down, but I figure, come over here. We'll take a walk down memory lane a little bit, because the roller rink is right over here. You don't have to look there. You can keep it on me. The roller rink is down this way, so let's take a walk and just film me from behind. You got me from head to toe?
Yep.
So figure, I'm what, 14 years old. I got my what did I have back then? I got my fat lace Pumas, or my Adidas shell tops with the fat lace, or balloon parachute pants. Heading over probably about 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night to the Eatontown roller rink. Didn't really drink much then, but most likely smoked some weed. And I was going to a place filled with 400 black dudes and Puerto Ricans who got in fights every night, every Sunday night. But I really didn't feel threatened in that regard, because I was a break dancer, and back then people really respected you if you were a dancer. You had a little bit more leeway, a little bit more pull, because they respected, I think, the fact that you got the balls to do it. Come up here. So it's right over here, so I'll be walking over here. Now, this is my son, he's 16, so I was probably a little younger than he is right now, and pretty much you'll see this is where we're walking to. And this empty lot over here is where the Eatontown roller rink was. Now, people don't know about a lot of this. You know, some famous rappers back in the day, they used to come there and battle. LL Cool J knows about the Eatontown roller rink. He was there. He was supposed to battle one of my friends, Mike Catley, who was one of the baddest rappers at the time. He's from Tinton Falls, New Jersey. Not many people really know about him, but he's still doing battle raps today. He just won some battle rap in Milwaukee or something last year. But, you know, a lot of us really still got it in us to do it. So anyway, this is now currently the Eatontown roller rink. I'm going to take you to the exact spot. I'm going to explain to you the whole layout. And that's what's going to be most neat of all. This side of the building was all just like a brick wall, a big tall brick wall that went, you know, like that. Then it bent around up front up there. The big square. But right here, I gotta say, you had the DJ booth down there, you had the rink right here, and I gotta say, judging back there, because I knew the back door, we used to sneak out the back door, and it was right by that thing. This is probably where most of the battles happen, right here. Right in this particular area over here. Down that end of the rink, that's where they had, here, you can take it. Down at this end of the rink, you had the DJ booth, and they did all the rap battles right there. And let me tell you something, the rink was surrounded by a 3-foot tall brick wall and went around. And you know, when they stopped skating at like 6 or something and they put that music on, people went on the dance floor. The whole freaking dance floor was packed with people. I mean, packed. And the way we used to start battles off is, you know, people be dancing, some people be beefing, you know, be setting the battles up pretty much at that point, because, you know, you're dancing with your chick or something, and someone that got you the week before is looking at you, this and that, bada bing. You might talk some shit, and then boom, somebody lays down, and your boy picks him up by the freaking ankles, and he starts spinning them around like this, and sometimes they went like this, like they do in like figure skating. And they would do this until we got the circle. And then when the circle was made, that's when you had the beats going and the circle's made. So that at that point, the battle's on. And it was pretty much right in this area. So the battle's on. So you're looking at a dude you got to beef with, or somebody just pops up and they start some shit with you, you know, you're just like, boom, bap, bap, bap. And then you take like, you got to do insults. That's the #1 thing. People nowadays with their battles, they're not insulting. Battling was about insulting the person. So I want to look at you. One of my favorite ones was I would go up and I would take the person's head and I would, let's see, I would like roll it up in a cigarette or something, and then I would smoke it down and put your ass out on the dance floor and then come back up, you know, and that's pretty much the way it was. And then I was pretty good, so brothers really never had a problem with no Puerto Ricans or nothing, but brothers really didn't get happy when I would be beating them. And a lot of times it was the brothers holding back them dudes from kicking my ass, because they could have probably kicked the living shit out of me. I was skinny, I was small, I was white, I was there with one of my good friends, and my crew sometimes was there, sometimes they weren't. You know, the crew was like, you know, because, you know, everybody had their own lives and stuff, so sometimes everybody wasn't there at the same night, and it wasn't really like that too much as far as the crews battling one another. It pretty much, for me, it was mainly like individual. So they'd be doing the rap battles down there, and we'd be battling right here around the rink. And it was a really special time. It was a really beautiful time, and there was a lot to learn. And so that's why I started doing the graffiti all over again too, because it was a time that meant a lot. It was now looking back at it, I can't believe that I'm in a position now to say that I did what I did. You know, I do what I do right now. I can still dance, and I do my graffiti, and now I'm starting to make graffiti clothing. And this is all the realest hip hop, bebop. I was right there in the movement, part of it. Definitely a major league minority. Back then, let me tell you, it was, you know, there was a lot more racism on both ends. And, you know, a black girl and a white dude messing around, it was still somewhat rare. It wasn't really that, it was kind of frowned upon. We talked about the 80s, which isn't that long ago, but times have changed a bit. The fact that nobody really has roller rinks anymore to go to. We had a drive-in theater to go to. We had the community center to do our dances. We had a youth, and we had a real movement coming. And I'll get into it another time about what I believe is the reason why it all fell apart. And then, you know, I'll take you over to the mall and I'll show you. I'll talk to you about a little bit about where we used to battle at the mall and the way that it was. But right now, that's it for now. I still have to show you all the new work that I got going on, and we're going to talk more about breakdancing in the mall.